Never gets
old, that.
It doesn't, never gets old.
No.
So, hi everyone on Facebook, thanks very much for joining us, and hi everyone on YouTube. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook, yeah, say nice things about us. Got to get it out there, haven't you? Say nice things about us, share it, let your friends know. That would be great. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you're on YouTube, just comment, share, do whatever. That'd be lovely. So I'm just going to wait for everyone to get on board and just go for it. So what we're doing tonight is we are playing around with Luscious, aren't we? So last week, if you remember, we were playing around with our beautiful Luscious powders, all of these gorgeous things. And if you haven't used Luscious before, then where have you been? These are just amazing. We love to make brilliant products for your artwork that you can use multiple different ways. I really don't like a one-trick pony. I really like to get value for my money, and this is one of those absolute hero products. So what is it? It's actually a powder. It's an inert powder, okay, and we give you loads of it. It is pigment, which is the colour. You get pigment to make everything that's coloured in the world that's not natural has got pigment in it. So that's the colour. So that's really, really finely ground up pigment. Then we've actually added the beautiful magic of mica, which gives you that sort of shiny, sparkly look to things. And then we put, a binder in. What's a binder? A binder just binds the molecules together so that when you wet it, it will actually stick to the surface of what you're applying it to, okay? So that's why we have a binder in. Some micas don't have binders in. And we give you absolutely loads. Normally you get pigments in really small containers because it is quite expensive, but we give you a really nice big pot of it because there are so many different ways that you can use it, and there are so many gorgeous colours you can use as well. So I think we've got about 63, haven't we, Alfie?
68.
68 and counting colours, which are just brilliant. And of course you can mix them together. You don't have to just stick with one particular colour. Now I've put little discs on the top of card. I've actually used, I think, black card on these, so that when I actually mix them with water, I just colour the top as well, the little piece of black card, just so that I can see the colours. Otherwise I store them, and when I open them I look at them from the bottom just so I can see the colour. That's just a little tip. Now, we talked about mixing last week, mixing our Luscious with water and creating a palette of beautiful, sparkly, gorgeous watercolour paints. And we showed you how to do that. That's in our previous video, okay? So that's what we did last week. We also mixed it with some medium. Now our medium is called Super Thick Slap It On. So this is like a really nice, thick, juicy gel medium. Why do I like it? Because it's really glossy when it dries, and that really shows up the beauty of the Luscious and the colour of the Luscious, and it dries completely clear as well, which I really like. So you get a really gorgeous effect with that, and you get a lovely texture with it. So we also used it with the Super Thick. We also showed you how to paint with the Luscious as well when we mixed it with water, and we also showed you the different surfaces that it can go onto. So this is resin. This is a combination of Woodology, which is a medite, which is a type of safe MDF. It goes onto, and then we showed you different things like this is paper clay. This is painted white with gesso first, so you can see that the colour is quite different compared to painting it with black gesso before you apply it. You get a completely different look, which is fabulous. And the different sort of effects that you can get. So that's on the previous video, and I just wanted to remind you of what we actually did then. All right, now we've had a request, which I love getting emails saying, hey Kay, could you show us a particular technique? Hang on.
Just had a question from Kathy who says, I have super thick Slapperton, but once it's on the card with Luscious, can I stamp on top, and if so, what ink is best?
You can stamp on the top, and it's basically a slick surface, so Stays On is really good. I find Stays On is a bit more translucent though, so I personally use Versafine, because that's a bit more opaque, but you will have to either set it with a heat gun, or you'll have to put some embossing powder over the top just to make sure it doesn't move. But all your Stays On will work as well. So those sort of ink pads, or anything that says it will go onto a slick, non-porous or glass surface. Okay, hope that answers your question. Right, so we had a question in, and it was about our Luscious that are called cast. So these are iridescent powders that we actually add to our mix of recipes to give a cast colour. So to illustrate, I've put these together tonight before we came on air. So you can see here that these are on white paper, white card. It's actually our watercolour card, and you can see here that this is the green cast. It gives you that sort of green cast to the white. This is the violet, this is the blue, and this is the gold. And I've also put them on black card as well, so you can really see that colour come through. It is on a white base, so when you add them to another Luscious, it will add not only the cast colour, but it will actually add white to it as well. Okay, so you can mix those two together. Actually, I've got hold of, this is Magic Sparkle. This is a fairly new-ish ingredient for us. I think we've only been using it just about a year, maybe 18 months. And this adds an extra special sparkle to the proceedings. It just really gives you that beautiful extra glint when the light hits it. Is just absolutely gorgeous. So that's another one that is really useful. As you can see, it actually has the wrong lid on, but I'll show that. I'll sort those out later. But this is another one that's really useful, and you can actually use that to mix in with your other Luscious. But what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to mix them with our Vivid range. Okay, our Vivid range are beautiful sprays, but I'm actually going to be using the refills today because they're just easier to handle when you're actually painting with them or colouring with them, or indeed you want to mix with them. So I'm actually going to mix the cast Luscious mixed with the indigo blue Vivids. Okay, what are Vivids? Vivids are a liquid ink, and they're extremely strong. I put maybe a good 6 times plus the amount that you're supposed to do, because I want really good value for money. So basically you can add loads of water to these colours and you'll still get the most beautiful, vibrant, vivid colours coming through. Okay, I'm also going to show you a lovely technique that is quite an old technique. I haven't invented it at all, where you can actually stamp with our Flitter glue and then use our Luscious over the top, which looks fantastic. Okay, so what I'll start with is I'll continue with this this sort of little lesson with the cast colours. Okay, so let me just get some water, and I've got, look at that colour there. You can't actually see, it's so vibrant. Let me move these out of the way. Let's put this here. Okay, and let me just get another brush just so that I can wet my watercolour cards. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that gorgeous vibrant blue there. So that actually is, where's my pen gone? That is called Little John. Okay, just so that you know. Oops, maybe I should have done it on a dry bit. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. So that's called Little John. Now if I get a little bit of Little John here, and if I mix that with blue cast, there's a blue cast. It's always the last one you pick up, isn't it? So I'm going to dip my brush into water and then dip it into the blue cast, and then going to mix it on my paint mat. I'm just going to get a little bit more. There we go. And I'm just going to add a tad more water. So on your paint mat you mix on the shiny side, and then you can see the difference between that and that. You see, the original Little John is matte. It's an ink and it dries completely matte, but you mix the blue cast with it and all of a sudden you get the most incredible, amazing, shimmering blue colour, which is just incredible. Now if I actually mix that with, say, a green cast, so let me just take some of that and add a little bit of water. I know my brush is a little bit on the dirty side, but when I add more blue, you can see that we get more of a, oh, maybe just add a bit more, okay? You can see that we get more of a teal colour rather than a blue colour, because we're adding green. Oh, it doesn't show up on the screen as well as that.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
it does. There you go. Okay, so those are very close in colour. What happens when I mix a gold cast? And this is what I tend to do with my Luscious. When I'm coming up with new colours, I do experiment with adding these to give you a duotone. So it hits the light and it changes colour. So depending on the direction of the light, it will just look one colour one way and another colour another way. All right, so I haven't got much room there, but I will put it on there anyway. So this is with the gold cast, which is just gorgeous. There you go. Can you see that? It's just lovely, isn't it? Now if I was to put a bit more blue in there, tiny bit more blue, you can make it a deeper colour if you wanted.
So Jill asks, can the cast colours mix with Slap-It-On fabric and then be painted on a dark fabric?
Yes, they can. Yeah, absolutely. So you can use our Luscious with any of our Slap-It-On range, which is really handy, isn't it? So what have I got here? I've got some Loxley yellow. Okay, gorgeous, vibrant, beautiful. Now, a little bit of green cast with some yellow. It's called Loxley yellow. And you get this sort of lemony lemony colour, but when again the light hits it, you get that lime. So it's like a lemon and lime sherbet, if you remember those sweeties, which is just gorgeous. And just with these few pots, you can create lots of amazing, beautiful colours. And that's what you want from your art materials. You want to be able to use them with lots and lots of different things. So this next one is violet. Let's have a little bit more, then you can really see that gorgeous, beautiful violet there. And then let's push on to the gold. And of course the gold is going to really go with that yellow. Which really emphasises that yellow, so you get the most incredibly vibrant colour. And then the blue mixed with the Loxley yellow.
Elizabeth has asked, can you mix the cast powders with watercolour pans?
Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that they mix in really beautifully. So again, put them on your get your watercolour, work them onto your palette, and then add some of these cast colours, and they look fantastic. And you can allow them to dry and then go back in a few days later, add a little bit of water, and it will reconstitute them as well. Okay, so can you see that? Oh, that's just lovely, isn't it? So see all the different types you can get with that. By the way, I'm just using like one drop of this at a time, so be really careful that you literally just put one drop on your mat here, because it is really strong. So I'm going to just mix some Magic Sparkle, because I didn't do that with the blue. And how much am I putting in? I'm just putting in as much to make a sort of nice juicy, creamy consistency. Now look at this, how this adds such an amazing sparkle. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. And this is on white card, okay? So if I was to get some black card, just see what it does on black card. It's just amazing. Let's get some of those other colours on here, if I can get them on. I'm just trying to scoop up. There's not much left on the mat, on the paint mat with it. I've used most of it, well, all of it virtually, but at least you can actually see the difference in colours there. Really shows up. And then if I get the blues, let's have some blue on there. Again, I'm just washing my brush in between so I don't contaminate it. And look at that teal. Oh, that is so much like a peacock feather, isn't it? I haven't got much of this left, but add water and you can really see. Look at those. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? I mean, they're incredible on white anyway, but on black, they're just stunning, aren't they? imagine them on a craft card as well. That would look great, wouldn't it? Oh, I've sprayed all over here. And so when these dry, they're going to be even better. So this is Little John at the top here. Let me just put those there. There's my pen. And this one is Loxley Yellow. Okay. Shall we do another colour? Or shall I move on? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think we've got the idea.
Yeah, okay. Right, so what you can also do is mix the Luscious together. All right, so if I was to take this raspberry, and let me just put some raspberry on here and get another piece of black card. Could you just cut me a couple of strips, please, Alfie? Black card, about 2.5 inches wide. So this is raspberry. And I'm just going to mix a little bit of that. Now all of this colour here, if I was to mix it on a palette, I can just put that palette away in the cupboard, and then whenever I use it next, I can just add some water and reconstitute it. Okay, so this is a beautiful raspberry colour. Okay, so this is like the red of the family. Just give me one, darling. Lovely, thank you so much. And on black, there you go. And again, I could do with making that a little bit thicker, but that's fine for now. So clean water, mix in some raspberry, and then oh yeah, that's true, sorry, I forgot I was working at the top of the sheet before. Right, so this is just raspberry, and then if I get, oh, what should we go for? Should we go for let's go for gold, shall we? And let's put some gold in with that. So the gold is going to add that lovely duotone to it, but the white is also going to affect it, so it's going to make it more pink as well. All right, so on white watercolour card you have that, and on black you have that. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Just is totally different. And that was with the gold cast. So let me just put that on.
Carol's asked, can she mix them with the acrylic, transparent and matte paints?
Yes, you can mix them with acrylic transparent paints, but not the matte, because the matte, basically what will happen is, imagine an orange, and the matte paint comes along and it will coat the orange because it's opaque, and therefore it will mask all of the sparkling molecules of the Luscious. It will just completely cover it.
Where did the orange come in?
That's the molecule. It's like putting custard over the orange. I don't think that's a really good way of explaining it, is it? No alcohol involved. Oh dear, dear me. So yes to the transparent. Now when you're experimenting, this is a really good thing to do, which is write down as you do it and then stick them in a little book, because you will forget what you've done and how you've created these lovely colours. All right, so just remember that.
So Elizabeth asked, can you add Luscious into a stamped image done with Flitter glue?
Yes.
Are you going to show that?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm going to show that one. So if I show you, let me just get a transparent colour. Here we go. Teal for 2, transparent acrylic colour. Okay, again, these are really, really strong and vibrant. Just a tiny bit.
Start that. If you use the powders with embossing ink, do you need to fix it, say with water, so it doesn't rub off?
Yes, you do. Yeah, just a really, really light spray. These are really good. These give you a really, really fine spray. The Versamark that you use is quite wet, so it does give you a bond, so that the binder does actually react with the Versamark, but I personally would just give it a very light spray over the top, just to be on the safe side. Okay, right, so we've got a little bit of translucent paint here. Okay, so you can see that it's translucent. I'm not going to put it on the black because it's not going to work on the black. And then what should we mix this one with? Alfie? Should we go with the green one? Violet, green. So again, let's just get a wet brush and a little bit of green cast. So the colour I'm using is Teal for 2. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So that's Teal for 2 plus green cast. Oh, that's nice. Again, wait until that dries and that's going to be incredible. I'll really like that. Mind you, teal is a favourite. So there's your answer to transparent paints as well. Okay, let me just clean my brush there. Let's just move these out of the way for a moment. Alfie, could you move that for me? I'm just getting a little bit, yeah, I'm getting a little bit congested. So let's just tidy these up a wee bit. Let's move
says,
these.
have you got any of those spray things?
Have we got any of those spray things?
That was the one that you got as a gift, wasn't it? That spray.
Oh, this one. Yes, I did. I got it as a gift. Yeah.
So,
Should we get? We haven't got them. No, unfortunately. But I believe that you can get them on Amazon. So check out Amazon. Right. So these are all drying out nicely. Okay, and let me just put these to one side to dry. Let's bring that in. Alrighty, and I'm going to need dry brushes for this, so let's bring in some.
Teresa asks, can you write on the top of the dried colours?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it just depends on the type of pen you've got. So just make sure that you can use the Stabilo All pencils. I think I tend to use the Uniball quite a lot. Is that... This will be dry. There you go. And that's over the top. And these are just straight from the normal stationers. In fact, this time of year they're usually on special offer, aren't they? Because they're going back to school. It's by the Mitsubishi Pencil Company, and it's called a Uniball. They come in blue and black, I think. So that's those. Okay, what I'm going to do now is show you the flitter glue technique. So I'm going to use my flitter glue, and I'm going to take about a teaspoon. There we go. Onto a piece of fat foam. If your fat foam is the one where it's black on black, you put it on the squishy side, the soft side, because there's a harder side, and then on the top there's a soft squishy side. So you put it on the soft squishy side, and then you just take your spatula and you just work it in until it all disappears into the foam, and then you just wash that in water. Alright, and then I'm going to use a background stamp. This is my William Morris Strawberry Thief, and this is lovely. And then you just need to put a little bit of your flitter glue onto your stamp. And when you're doing this, you need to be quick about it, because you don't want the glue to dry, because it's really hot and dry in here. So you don't want that flitter glue to dry before you've actually stamped it. So get it on there really, really quick, and then straight off again. So you can see there it's gone on. I'm just going to put a little bit more on the top of this too. So can you see, really, really quick on and off, and then you need to wash that with water. So I'm just going to give that a good spray with water.
So Louisa has asked, what's the difference between adding raspberry jam and gold Luscious and raspberry jam and the gold cast?
The gold cast will allow that, well, try it out actually. Just give it a mix and see what you come up with. But I think with the gold you'll get a stronger gold, because this is more opaque. So I just think you will mask that even more. Do you want me to mix it up for you? Just show you. This can wait. Where's my wet brush? There's my wet brush. So we've got a little bit of raspberry. There we go, mix that in. That's a little bit thin, so I like it so it's a bit more of a creamy consistency. There we go. That's more like it. And then adding the gold. And again, some more water. Yeah, it looks quite different actually. But good question, where's my bit with the, there we go, Luscious and gold cast. And then if I put this on, wow, that's like a rose gold. That's nice. That is really gorgeous.
It's not massively different, is it?
Oh, I think it is. If you look at these, and that's dry. You have to wait until that's dry, you see. It's quite different when it's wet. So I would say that that's sort of like pink with a gold cast, and that's gold with a pink cast.
A bit more subtle with
yeah. There we go. Okay, I'll leave that to dry. So thanks for the question, that's good. Now let me go back to, let's just put that out of the way. Put that out of the way to dry. Now for this, I need a dry brush. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Okay, so since I've got some raspberry out, let's do a little bit of raspberry. So I'm using a dry brush this time. I'm taking some of the Luscious and tapping the excess off, and I'm just going to put a little bit on here, and because the Flitter glue is tacky, it will hold on to that colour. Now when you do this on white card, just be aware that because we put a lot of pigment in ours, you might actually colour the card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of, what colour is this? Pied Piper. So this is like a green colour.
Louise has asked, what are the cast powders?
What are they?
I mean, obviously they're Luscious, but...
They are Luscious, yeah.
But
they're a white powder with an iridescence in them. What else should I do? Let's do a bit of blue. Let's see what the blue looks like. That's lovely. That is gorgeous, that blue. That's called Hansel. Let's go back and have a bit more of that raspberry. And should we finish off with a wee bit of gold, seeing as I've got it out? Maybe should have thought about which colours I was going to use, but I didn't. And it's nice just to be a bit random sometimes. Going to go over here a little bit. Go over that red. So I've got more of a goldy look. Okay. So that was raspberry, Pied Piper, Hansel and gold. And then I just get a big soft brush and I just brush off the excess. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that a lot. Oh, that is so cool. And you can see that magic sparkle in it as well, because the magic sparkle is in the Hansel, and that's got an iridescence in it as well. Can you see? That's lovely. So what I do is I just get a really good distance. Okay, so with this spray, it's a really, really fine spray. I should have done it maybe a little bit further away. And that will definitely set it, because something wet activates the binder so that it won't actually come off at all. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is lovely. So
wouldn't the Flitter glue have held it anyway?
The Flitter glue does hold it, yeah, but I just want to be on the safe side. So maybe this coloured and put on there would look really nice. Anyway, that's one technique. I want to carry on and show you another technique that I've always done when we first got the Flitter glue in. So let's choose some different colours and let's choose a different stamp.
Linda's just asked what stamp that was.
Okay, so this is my William Morris Strawberry Thief stamp.
And the spray was just water, yeah?
The spray was just a really fine water spray, and looks like that from Amazon. I think since I've got these out, I'm going to use this one. This is another William Morris one, and this is Arts and Crafts. This one, which I really love. So we're going to use this one next. Let's just move that to one side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our Flitter glue. And we're going to pat that all over. And you have to be quick because this Flitter glue dries really, really quickly, especially if you're in a warm room. So it's a really quick kiss stamp. So straight on, straight off. Okay.
But it doesn't really dry though, does it?
It doesn't dry, it actually goes tacky and it stays permanently tacky. So even if I was to come back a week later, it would still be tacky. So I haven't got all of it, but I think that will be a really nice look to it. And then straight away you need to put lots of water onto your stamp and give that a good clean. You can use any stamps with our Flitter glue. Obviously I prefer you to use indigo glue, and I have been known to say if you use any other type of stamp with our Flitter glue it will burst into flames, but of course I'm not exactly telling the truth, am I? So you can actually safely use Flitter glue with all types of stamps. Okay. Okay, so with this one, should we go, let's go Rusty Bucket Gold. Let's do some bit of verdigris. No, let's not do verdigris, let's do Warm Wishes and maybe a bit of Penny Dreadful. Alrighty, so Rusty Bucket, Warm Wishes, oh, Gold, Penny Dreadful. Okay, so the same thing again, dry brush, just dip a dry brush into the Luscious, tap off the excess and just pop it wherever you want. Before I do that, the whole idea of doing this was to show you that you can actually do it with Gilding Flake as well as Luscious. So I'm just going to put a few little bits of Copper Kettle on here before I put the Luscious on. Just ignore the fact that I've just put a load of Luscious on. I just get a bit carried away with playing. Oh, it's so nice. So nice to use. I'm just using tiny weeny little bits. That should do it. Don't get carried away, Kay. Just step away from the copper flake. So that's called Copper Kettle. And then when you put your flake on, that's when you come in with all of your lovely Luscious. So again, dip it in and just tap off the excess and swirl it around wherever you want colour. Oh, the Penny Dreadful is lovely, and that's going to go so well with the copper. It really is. And then I'm going to just put gold wherever else I've got any any tacky flitter glue. So remember that you don't have to be in a rush with this, because the flitter glue just stays tacky permanently. Okay, right. So let's just get the lids on those before I knock them over, because I know what I'm like. There we go. Let's get a nice big brush. Excellent. And then I'm just going to use my scoochie just on the areas where there's a bit of flake, just to bring, not the whole thing, because you don't want to be affecting the Luscious. You just want to take off any excess where the flake is. So I'm just using the corner of my scoochie. Ready? Oh, that is really gorgeous. Very regal. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love it. And I actually love the fact that I didn't stamp it perfectly, that it's a little bit distressed around the edges. That is gorgeous. That works so well. And I still need to spray this. So excuse me while I just hold this at a distance and give it a really light spray.
Thanks.
Did I get you? Sorry. Oh, look at that. So this it's just such a lovely old technique of mine. So it's just beautiful. So yeah, we've had the flitter glue out about 11 years, haven't we? And it still makes my heart sing when I use it. And I just look, now this is drying, you can start to see the colours really coming through, which is just beautiful. That's lovely. Okay, so, and of course you can paint with these. And I don't want to really waste all of this gorgeousness. So I'm just going to take a damp brush and I'm going to, what should I use? I think I'm going to try this Raspberry Luscious with gold. And let's just have a little bit of that on here. So this is stamped and then clear embossed, just so that it pulls away from the line work. So that, and you're going to ask me which stamp plate it's from now, aren't you? I think it's one of the Fleurs ones, isn't it, this Alfie?
Yeah, I think so. Fleurs 4.
Well done. Did you do that from memory?
No, it's not actually. It's not a Fleurs one.
Is it not?
I think it might be a squiggly one.
Oh yes, I think, yeah, it is. Squiggly.
Yeah, squiggly leaves.
I want some green. Let's just add a wee bit of green to this. So I'm just reconstituting all of this Luscious on my mat and just adding a bit of water to it. And that way. And I'm mixing it in with whatever's left, basically, to get a little bit of colour on this. Let's get some of that yellow as well. That'll do. Are you alright over there, Alfie?
Yes.
You're doing a lot of clicking.
Not doing what it's meant to be doing.
Okay. There we go. See, it just is lovely when you paint with it or colour with it. So I think that perhaps on there, and maybe a few little bits, is going to look really quite cute. But really like those. Right, I just want to show you all of these now that they've dried. Wow, yummy. That looks great, doesn't it? And then we did the raspberry and gold cast Luscious there, and then you've got the raspberry and gold Luscious, not the gold cast, the gold Luscious, which is still wet actually. You've also got the different casts on here, which I did before we went on air. So you've got the green, the violet, the blue and the gold, and you've got it on white watercolour card there. We've also got raspberry and gold cast on here, and we've got teal for two, which is the paint, the translucent paint with green cast. I really like that actually. That's really nice. But of course, when you mix it with the green cast, it makes it more opaque, as you can see.
So Kathy's asked, can I use the code after tonight's live? Yes, the code which is at the top of the screen, which is Lush2, can be used after the live tonight.
Ooh, that's good.
For a few days.
And what does the Lush2 do?
It's 25% off Luscious powders.
Oh wow, that's good. Excellent. Okay. So have a good look at them. Those have worked really nicely as well, haven't they? They're still wet, but there you go. Right, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to confuse the issue. Oh, there's just one tiny little thing I wanted to show you. So this was just a project that I did. What did I do this for? Did I do this for the American trade?
Yeah.
I did. Okay, and what I've done is I've just put some blue cast over the top of white gesso on the hands, and you can see that they glow, whereas I've used matte paint over the rest of it. And I just wanted to do the same with El Ghosty here. So I think, what should we do? Should we do a bit of violet cast on him there? So let me just mix up a tiny bit of violet cast, and so it's just painted with white gesso, and I just want to put some violet cast over the top, and then when the light hits, oh, not on the there, when the light hits it will, not on the gravestone, okay, when the light hits it will just give it that lovely iridescence, like the hands down there. So you can see those. So it's not dry yet, so you probably can't see it that well on camera, but it does look rather good. Okie doke. Right, so I want to leave it there before confusing the issue, but I am going to do another video because I want to show you how it will mix with, oh, she says, resin. Okay, because lots of people want to know how I create things with resin, so how we get that sort of lovely effects like this, and how to make sort of an opaline effect in jewellery and all sorts. So join me again. I think we're going to, are we going to pre-record one before we go away next Wednesday, or are we going to do it live next Wednesday?
No, we're not going to. Well, I don't know.
Okay, we will
we'll let people know.
We will be around, hopefully, next week. So thank you so much for joining us with all of our beautiful Luscious. Go and fill your boots. If you have got the budget to indulge in a little bit of Luscious, take advantage of Alfie's offer there, which I'm sure you will love playing with them. There's so much you can do with them, and I have got loads and loads of videos on different projects using them. But join me again for another range of techniques using our gorgeous Luscious. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much everyone on YouTube, and thank you for all your lovely comments. We really, really appreciate it. And if you like it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, give us a thumbs up and share and comment. Thank you so much everyone. Nighty night. Bye. Say bye, Alfie.
Bye.
Bye.